These are the stories
My little girl, she's changing lives just by being herself.
of organizations and people making a difference.
When you first tell someone about adaptive wheelchair boxing, it doesn't sound real.
And empowering others.
It saved my life. It saved my life.
Across Canada.
I scored my first goal in my first blind hockey game.
In our community.
You're listening to The Self-Advocate on CFRO Co-op Radio 100.5 FM with your host, Alison Klein. You can find me on Instagram. My name is Alison Klein. I am radio interviewer, podcaster, host, and producer of my own radio show. And Margo is a friend of mine, and I've known them since we were kids. My first guest today is Margaux Wosk, and I'm actually in person with Margaux Wosk at home. Even better. Thank you so much, Margo, for being on my show today.
Thank you so much for having me and also having me in your lovely home. I really appreciate it.
Off the bat, how have you personally been rewarded in your own life and through all of this stuff?
A lot of the time I don't really focus on how I can help others, like how I can help my family and how I can do stuff for my friends, and it's impossible for me to focus on myself because it's never about me. It really isn't.
I chose Margo for my podcast because Margo fits all of my categories. They are a self-advocate. They are not only a self-advocate for the disability community, they're also a self-advocate for invisible disabilities. They're a self-advocate for being non-binary. They are also a self-advocate for the Jewish community, so a minority community in Canada. So that's a huge thing. There are intersections in the disability community, and they create art, which I talk a lot about in my radio show and podcast.
I am Margaux Wosk. I am a non-binary, autistic, activist, advocate, artist, designer, somebody who likes to make social media content, and I prefer they, them pronouns. I also identify as queer, so yeah. Come here. Yeah. Do you want a treat? I live in Vancouver in my apartment with my cat, whose name is Archie, but he doesn't know that. He is orange and white, and I live independently. He's my silly boy.
My name is Marcy Cooper, and I'm Margot's mom. Margot's a happy person. She's always looking for the good in others. She wants to help others a lot. When she was young, I would say probably 5, maybe 6, 7 years old, things just started to weigh heavier on her. Noise was a big thing. She couldn't handle it. If she was in a room with fluorescent lighting, it just aggravated her. She wasn't the run-of-the-mill average student. She did things a little differently. And so there was a lot of bullying going on, and it changed her.
Getting my autism diagnosis at the age of, I think, 28 was absolutely like mind-blowing for me. That was the moment of clarity for me when I got the answers as to why, when I was a child, was so weird and different. When I got my autism diagnosis, it meant, honestly, the world to me. It was a really interesting feeling. It was like this sense of relief, this weight that I had been carrying that I could feel almost like in the pit of my stomach kind of dissipated. And I was like actually pretty overjoyed. Now I know who I am. Now I understand why I am the way I am and why my whole life up until that point felt so disjointed and felt so unclear. And suddenly it was like the clouds had parted and the sun was coming through. And I was just like, okay, I know who I am now.
I think that Margot's autism has affected her in a very creative way. She's sort of able to look at things differently. I think it's the autism that allows her to push a lot of things out of her mind and concentrate on one thing really well. Margo gets her love for the arts because when the girls were all little, they would see me at my table because I was a calligrapher for 40 years.
Art has always been big in my life. It has always been something that's been very important. Seeing my mom create her artwork, which is absolutely stunning, very different from my style, was always very inspiring to me. I don't know what it is. I let something take over me and it just happens and I'm in the zone. And it's a very freeing and expressive experience that sometimes can provide me with a lot of calm, a lot of peace, a lot of tranquility. And it just kind of removes me from all the stresses that are happening in the world and in my life. My art style would probably be categorized as naive art, which essentially means untrained artist. It kind of has like a folk or eclectic style. I like to do images of fun cats and owls and flowers, and it just really depends on how I'm feeling in the moment. I've had my art shown in various galleries. I'm very fortunate to have had those opportunities and that many people have been able to see my artwork. One of the opportunities I had was Murals Without Walls. So I did one called Floral Love, and my piece of art was a lot of very bright and vibrant flowers. It was then displayed during the Vancouver Mural Festival, and people could come and see it. One of the things I started because of my passion for art, my passion for small business, and the disability or disabled community is the We Belong Market, which aims to highlight disabled artists, entrepreneurs, and creators by giving them the opportunity to sell their goods in an environment where we have volunteers to help them, an accessible area, and we bring traffic. We do lots of advertising, and we make sure that people are aware and present and come spend some money and support our community that is often underserved and underrepresented.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
Okay, I'm working on the next one. It is for Canada. I need to find my stamps. I'll find my stamps after.
You don't want to do, okay, so you're doing them in a certain order.
Hold on, I'll get you the label for that. I'm just picking orders that are easy for me to pack right now. I decided to start my own business, Retrophiliac, because I was finding that the employment offered for disabled people is very limited in scope. For me, I am somebody that really needs to be in control. If I need to sleep, I need to sleep. If I need to turn off the lights, I need to do that. I have to be in control of every aspect of my day. I was finding that employment through other people was just simply not accessible for me, no matter what my needs were and how I communicated those.
Margo started her own business out of necessity. She learned a lot from her time at one of her employments, and she was able to learned the cash register. She caught on to the products very quickly. And Margo decided that she would start a business herself.
And we have the backing cards that we just replenished, so there you go.
Oh, perfect.
The name of my business is Retrophiliac, and it means lover of past things, or basically being a nostalgic person. And people love to know that I am an autistic-run business. They love to know that I am neurodivergent and that I am aiming to serve the communities that I am part of. I specialize in communication pins that are enamel. I also have lots of pride flags available. I feel very fortunate to be in the position I'm in, and that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for multiple BC Arts Council grants. The initial one I got funded my neurodiversity pride pin, which was the first pin I ever started to sell. And from there, I've been able to build up my brand to over 130 items. We have pins that say disabled is not a bad word, autistic is not a bad word, autistic not rude, communicating is challenging for me. The problems I want to solve with my business are really creating an alternative way to communicate. Also giving people the ability to feel proud of who they are. So this is my denim jacket, and this is a great example of how you can layer some of the pins that I have. I've designed many of my rectangular pins to be 1.5 inches in length so that they can be worn together and you can create a personal message. So for me on the left side, I have neurodivergent, I have a pansexual pride flag, and a non-binary pride flag. And then on the right side, I've layered a couple of my communication pins. I have an invisible disability and please be patient with me, among other pins of mine to decorate my jacket. There's a huge overlap between queer people and neurodivergent people. We almost go hand in hand. And when I see myself getting orders for a neurodivergent pin with a pride flag, I'm like, okay, these are my people. Like, I am serving both communities at the same time, and people are feeling so seen. Sometimes I even get messages alongside an order with praise or with stories or with graciousness and being thanked. And I love to return that favor by handwriting a note to every single person. Even if it's 400 of them, I will do it because I want them to know that their support actually means the world to me and that I am taking the time to let them know that in my own handwriting.
Margo's remarkable. I think she has surprised herself. I have such respect for her. She's my boss. Margo tells me what to do, when to do it, and I follow suit. Margo has basically given me a new life too. And it's been wonderful.
Mom, would you like some tea? I can make you some.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'm cold and I would love tea.
Okay. I'm just gonna fill up the water and get that going and get it heated up. Let me see. My mom and I really like to spend a lot of time together, whether it's packing orders or sitting down and having some tea together. She is my best friend and I wouldn't want to be doing this with anybody else. She's an incredible support. She's the kindest person I know. She's very progressive and I'm very thankful to have her in my life. I made you the energizing tea. You should smell it. It should probably smell kind of like pumpkin spice.
Oh, it does. But it also...
It has like a lot of stuff in it. That was a lot of orders that we just packed.
What do you need me to do for you?
Just mail the orders.
Do you need to come over to...
Being on social media through various platforms, whether it's a text post or a video or a photo, it is so important for me to get my voice out there. Hey, fellow autistics. Thank you for following me as you do. I have a question for you. What do you do when you experience social burnout? Does it make you really physically tired? Do you need to have some caffeine? It's not only about my activism and my advocacy work, which is beyond important to me, above like all else, but also my business as well. The things I have been able to achieve because I am on social media and because I have such a presence online, I would not have been able to achieve that without having that presence online. One of the many places that carries my goods is a place called Odin Books, which is a really incredible bookstore with the main focus on mental health. Hi,
Margo.
How are my pins doing?
They are doing really well. We've been very happy to have them available for families. This has been the most popular one, the neurodivergent pride pin.
They are absolutely incredible. And I do love to go and visit Kathy sometimes, see how my pins are doing, drop off merchandise. And the fact that I have support from a local business that has continued to support me truly means the world, because it not only reaffirms what I'm doing and the positive impact it has on the community, but they have a really big positive impact on the community as well. And to be able to have a mutually beneficial relationship has been something I'm just so grateful for.
New products are ready to go because we've got some more space here.
Awesome,
All
thank
right,
you.
you take good care.
Bye.
Bye, Margo.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
I'm Margaux Wosk. I live in Vancouver, and I'm the Lower Mainland West Regional Director for BC People First, which is under the umbrella of People First of Canada. One of the absolute most exciting highlights of my activism, advocacy, even my life, was being able to go to Parliament Hill for the Bill C-22 rally with Disability Without Poverty and speak in front of a bunch of people. It was amazing to see the Parliament building behind me, and I was there, totally traveled by myself, out of my element, but so excited to be there and do that. Pass Bill C-22 and watch the disability community rise out of poverty and be able to really show how valuable we are to society, how we want to show up, how we deserve the right to a comfortable life just like everyone else. Do the right thing. Don't let us fall through the cracks. Pass Bill C-22 now. Thank you. I became a self-advocate because I oftentimes felt like my voice was not listened to. And because of that, and seeing the way that my mom advocated for me, I felt like I am now in the position in my life that I can do that for others, and I can do that for myself. I also am involved with two nonprofits, JQT, which is a Jewish, queer, and trans nonprofit, as well as BC People First.
I mean, we can do stuff, but there needs to be sports, I think.
I am so aware of the issues that many Canadians, especially disabled Canadians, face in terms of finding affordable housing, the housing shortage, and it's something that we focus on, which is helping out our community, more jobs, better housing, just focusing on the things that we are finding to be systematically challenging.
And get a job somewhere or start.
Hi Carmel, it's so nice to see you.
Hi Margo, great to have you.
I'm really excited about all the things that we're going to be doing for JQT. It's amazing. JQT is the Jewish, queer, and trans nonprofit organization that I am part of. We do a lot in terms of intersectionality between being Jewish and being part of the queer community. I feel so loved and so welcome in that community that I just am fortunate that I can be part of such an amazing group of people who are just so dedicated to changing the narrative of what Jewish queer people are like, and the fact that there is an overlap or there is a community there, and they do some pretty amazing work. It was really nice chatting with you. I'll be talking to you really soon, and I also hope that you have a really great evening.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
This is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, which is activism and advocacy work. It has given me a true sense of purpose, a sense of community, and I just don't see it going anywhere in my life. This is what an autistic and disabled person is capable of. Let's open up that conversation, and let's also make people feel proud of who they are. Nothing makes me feel better than helping other people, and I honestly feel like that's why I'm here, and that's why I was put on this earth.
Produced by Ascent Films. Producer, location, audio, Lucy Bacala. Director, cinematographer, editor, Yuri Bacala. Original music, Stu Goldberg. Colorist, Stephen Anturi. Narrator, Jim Van Horn. Graphics, Andrew Antonello. Integrated Describe video consultant, Ron Rickford. Supervising producer, Jennifer Johnson. Content development specialist, Sylvie Fiquet. Manager programming, Lisanne Gagne. Director Content Development and Production, Karen Nye. VP Content Development and Operations, John Melville. President and CEO, David Arrington. Copyright Accessible Media Inc. 2023.
An AMI original production.